The last one is on pronunciation, conducted by my colleague, Dr. Rebecca Chen. Okay, now today we'll talk about how to use corpus linguistics to improve grammar teaching and learning. And before this workshop, I invited you to complete the pre-workshop questionnaire. And about your knowledge about corpora, quite a number of you mentioned that you have heard of this term before, but you are not familiar with how to use the corpora for your grammar learning and also grammar teaching. So let's see how we can get a better idea of how to use corpora today. Okay, I'm going to talk about what a corpus is to introduce corpora to you if you don't know what they are. And also actually, nowadays there are a number of corpora, so I will introduce them to you and let you have a choice depending on your purposes. And we'll see how corpora, or what corpora can show us, and then we'll see how we can conduct a corpus search. And you can also create your own corpora, and then we'll see how we can integrate these corpus tools to in our grammar teaching and learning. And I will also introduce to you some sample lesson plans. And in the pre-workshop questionnaire, I asked each of you to raise a question about what you are not too familiar with about a usage, English usage. So I have selected some of them, and we can see or we can sort out the answers today. And finally, all of you should register what you say called? Schoology. Yeah. It's a platform where we can find or we can save our resources there. Next week is our online session, so I've already saved a number of resources there, and you can take a look later on, and you are expected to do the tasks. Okay, so let's see. Now the usage questions. All of us come across some questions that we don't know the answers. So what resources will you use? Grammar books, dictionaries, consulting others, internet search, or corpus tools? And so yesterday I found that 31 of you answered the question. So which one do you think is the most commonly used by you guys? Dictionaries. What else? Internet search. You are right. This is a good guess. These are the two tools that you usually use. Right? So look at these charts or pie charts. The blue ones are the ones that you usually use. So dictionaries, as you say, internet search, and then seldom is orange or never is green. So you see corpus tools seldom, about half, and never over 30%. So this is the most unfamiliar tool that you are using. So I hope that after today's lecture or today's workshop, you'll find how powerful, how useful these corpus tools are for your own grammar learning and also your grammar teaching later on. Now, one method that we also use is consulting others. About half of you said that, you sometimes consult others. Some of you say never. Too embarrassing to ask your colleagues, maybe, so you say never. All right, but quite often we also consult our friends or our colleagues. So recently, I got this question from my colleague, from an administrative colleague, an administrator, and she said, I'm discussing with my colleague on the correct grammar. Can you advise if case or cases should be used? In this example, no upgrading cases or no upgrading case. What's that? What will you choose? Case or cases after no? Huh? How many of you will say plural? Put up your hands, please. Yeah, okay, a few hands. Singular. Singular. Okay, about the same number of you. So, which one then? I could hear the answer. Yeah, some of you said actually both. Okay, both. I said, either one. I said this to my colleague. Either one. Then, how would you fill in this blank? Which form it seems more common then? Huh? Which one? Plural or singular? Plural? How can you tell it's plural? Evidence. Just based on your intuition, yeah, your feeling. Right? Usually you say it, you make your decision based on your intuition, your feeling. But nowadays we always say evidence, right? Even the politicians say evidence. The Hong Kong government, do you have evidence to say that there are not enough beds in our hospitals or something like that? Okay, so we can show evidence actually. Now let's try to do this search first. Oh, you take out your computer, your laptop, or your mobile phone. Let's learn how to do the search. Now, so you can either type in this link, or you use the QR code. Okay. Now I'll begin with a more complex method. I've chosen this Corpus tool. Or if you don't want to type in this, actually there's a quicker way to do it. Just have our Google search. Type in BNC, British National Corpus. BNC. And there are different platforms here. So you see the different platforms here. Okay, I'll choose this one, University of Leeds. Takes a while. Okay, here. BNC, British National Corpus. And then choose the one, University of Leeds. And you can get to this web page. And we choose search the standard corpora, the first one. And you see there are different languages here. And today, of course, we'll choose English. But you can see there are other languages like Chinese, French, German, Italian. So there are different kinds of corpora on different languages. So let's choose English. Okay, you see in this platform, we have got different corpora provided by the University of Leeds. You see, the first one is BNC, British National Corpus. The second one is on news, of British newspapers, also British English. This one, Internet English. Next one, Wikipedia entries in English. And that one, the next one is UK-based web pages. And then political blogs. Brown, Corpus, American English from 1961, so older English. BE, British English, or British Corpus from 2006, more contemporary. And the last one is American English from 2006. So you see there are different corpora here. And we'll choose the first one, British National Corpus. How many words are there? How many words? 100 million words. You see, there's the corpus size here. The corpus sizes are different for each of these corpora. So we choose BNC and then click on Next. Next on the right hand side, far right hand side. Okay, you get to this page. All right? All of you have got to this now? Then, remember our word is the word no, right? After no, the determiner no. Should we use a singular noun or a plural noun? So I type in the word no here. And you may like to make some changes. You see there are a number of numbers here. Now 60 refers to the how many words you want to see in a line. 60 characters. You can increase this to 80, 100 to make the line, the example sentence longer. But usually I don't change this, so just leave it. And okay, this another number display up to how many matches you want to have. Well, if you just want to have a few examples, then 10 may be enough. But you want to have more for some more complex cases, you may need to see more examples. Then you can change that to 50 or 100 or even 200. But of course, the more number, the larger number you put down, the longer time it will run. So maybe, I think for this simple case, 50 may be enough, right? 50. Let's change it to 50. Okay, on each page, how many do you want to see? The maximum number is 50 on each page. So if you say 100 matches with 50, that means there will be 2 pages. And okay, some more boxes here. Show total number of matches. So if you want to see how many tokens of no, the word no, there are in this corpus, then you can take that number. But for this problem solving case, we don't really need to know the number, right? So forget it. Okay, this one, there's one more box, middle. So where you want to see the word no? At the beginning of the sentence, or at the end of the sentence, or in the middle of the sentence? Or in the middle. Actually, we don't call it a sentence, it is called a concordance, a line where this target word appears. So for this case, maybe, will you put it at the end? No? No. Maybe middle or at the beginning, I think, right? No. So maybe we'll just leave it middle, in the middle, so we can have the search. Okay, so you can see the word no appearing in the middle of the concordance line. Okay, so here, what can you find? Singular or plural form after no? Both, yeah, you can see both. Right, so here we can find no formalities here. No formalities, plural. No conditions, plural. No real job prospects, plural. But the other cases, you see singular. Singular, no idea, no money. So both. So after no, we may use a singular noun or a plural noun. So you can have the proof, right? Instead of just using your intuition, now you can have the evidence. You can show the evidence. Then how about the question? Which one is more commonly used? It seems singular on this page, but just on this page, right? you have just indicated 100 examples, and on this page, just 50 examples. And so this is not really the true picture. If we really want to see the number, then we have to do something more. Now, let's get back to choose type of search, this one here, to do another search. Okay? Get back to that page now. Yes. Now, if we want to analyze this further, we may need to use this icon, Search Builder, this one, Search Builder. So click on Search Builder. All right, then you get this page. Okay? Now the word no is already there. Since I have already typed in the word no on the previous page. So no is there. But now we would like to see whether a singular noun or a plural noun follows the word no more frequently. So we have to add another word. Add another word here. Well, if you just type in one word, wow, it can't tell you the frequency of the singular noun or plural noun. So we have to make use of part of speech here. The part of speech editor. See this one? POS editor. So we click on this. All right, you can see the different parts of speech. Now, so there are two structures. One is no plus a singular common noun, and the other one is no plus a singular, no plus a plural common noun. So first, we'll do the singular noun first. Okay, so click on this one, no singular common, and click on OK. Okay? Right, so you see, it's here, no plus the noun and so anyway, we don't really need to type in this word as long as we have chosen the right item. So it appears there already. We don't need to remember the syntax, the command. So we have typed in singular, right? Yeah, singular, that means this is a singular noun. Now, this time, do we need to to click on this one? Tick this one? Do we need to tick this box?
Yes.
Yes, show total number of matches, because we would like to see which one is more frequently used. So, tick this button or tick this box, and then search. All right, so we get to some examples, the concordances here. Where can we find the number then? Where can we find the number? Yeah, here. It's at the end there. Okay. So we can find the total number of times this kind of structure appears. But I wonder why the number is much higher than the one that I did. But anyway, so you can see the total number. Here it says it's 67,994 times. All right, then can we do the same for the plural form? So again, we choose type of speech. Choose type of speech. And what should I do now? Before we do that, we have to delete this. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So we delete all our previous search here. So delete all those words. Okay? Then we can search where? Search the builder. Okay, go to the builder. Type in the first word, which is no. And then what should I do next? Add another word. Yes. Then what should I click on? What is that word? What should I click on? POS editor. And this time what should I tick? Plural common noun. Yes. And then okay. Okay. And then search. Remember to tick the total number of matches. Search. Okay, how many times? 10,912. Okay, so you can see the total number here. Then which one is more commonly used? Well, let's try the singular form again, because I really wonder whether it's correct. since it was different from my previous search. So let's try that one again and see. Singular. Really? 67,000 something. Okay. So it means that the singular one is more commonly used. Okay. But of course, we have to bear in mind that this singular form includes both the countable noun and the uncountable noun. So the uncountable noun must be in the singular form. Okay. All right. So let's get back to our PowerPoint slides here. So anyway, you can see how we can check some usages using this corpus platform. Okay, so after doing this search, can you tell me what a corpus is? Any idea then? What is a corpus?
A collection.
Yeah, a collection. It's a collection of something. What? Collection of texts. Good. Collection of texts. What kind of text then?
Authentic.
Authentic. You wrote down authentic language, authentic English, authentic Chinese, authentic French, authentic language. In what kinds of genres? Well, it depends. But they can be on different kinds of genre. It can be on legal English. It can be on blogger. Remember the blog? It can be on newspapers. Yeah. It can be in the written form or the spoken form. So a corpus is a large principled collection of naturally occurring texts, written or spoken. Nowadays, they are stored electronically, of course. That's why we can find such a large size of corpus. So it's naturally occurring. That means these texts are authentic. It can be meeting notes, letters, class assignments, student errors, learners English, media English, and so on. So they are not made up language, unlike your textbooks. Very often the language used in textbooks is made up by textbook writers. And that's why sometimes they don't sound very natural. The sentences, they are not very natural. But if you use authentic, or if you use corpora, the language there is authentic. Now it's a principal collection depending on what the purpose is. We have just mentioned that, right? If you are interested in the news, the English used by journalists, then you have to refer to that kind of corpus. How big is large then? Well, it is a relative term. Well, usually a general corpus, including different kinds of genre, is bigger than a specialized corpus focusing on, let's say, legal English or your students' write assignments, the class assignments, usually. Well, as we have seen that there are different kinds of corpora. Well, at the early stage, in the earlier years, it was the brown corpus, one of the earliest corpora that we had. In the 1960s, 1 million words of American English. In line with this one, we have another one for the British English, that is Lancaster, Oslo, Bergen corpus, Locke corpus. Also 1 million words of British English in the 1970s. And more recently, we have the British National Corpus, 100 million words. And COCA, the Corpus of Contemporary American English, 520 million words, getting bigger and bigger, right? Or we can also have corpora composing of different kinds of English, like this one, International Corpus of English. It is composed of different varieties of English from around the world, like Hong Kong English, Filipino English, Singaporean English, and the others. So you see these balls getting bigger and bigger, starting from the beginning, 1 million brown, and also the Lord Corpora, and then 100 million British National Corpus, 500 million Coca, Corpus of Contemporary American English, and 14 billion. What's this? 14 billion words. So large. How can we get so many taxes? Where? Huh? Usually, yeah, probably on the internet there. Yeah, so you see the 14 billion words, iWeb, internet. And TV, recently, this website has included TV, informal TV shows, and also movies, informal movies. Okay, so also some others here. Now, since we have got technology, computers, nowadays it's quite easy to compile different kinds of corpora. And so here I have suggested or have listed several corpus links here. Today in our workshop, we'll look at the first five. These five. We'll make use of them for different examples. And when you have time at home, you can also refer to our corpus, the EDU corpus here, different kinds. All right, what are the uses of corpora then? Now, corpora is the plural form for corpus. The uses, I think, very useful for us. Self-learning, including you and me. We don't know everything, so we need to, do some searches to find the answer, to find out the answers. Teaching, if you are teachers, we can also make use of corpus data to teach grammar, to teach vocabulary, or to teach pronunciation, or even to teach translation. When you compare different kinds of corpora, Chinese and English, or French and English, then you can you can teach your students how to use this corpora to do translation. And for us academics, we also use corpora to do research. But then what did corpora tell us? The first one, word frequency. Well, that can inform the syllabus design. What does it mean to you? If the words appear more frequently, then probably you will teach that item. You will teach that item. You will teach it. Okay, we'll stop. Or you can also say you will teach it earlier. Yeah? For the beginners, earlier. Concordances, the examples, the lines. Examples of the target words are given to you in context. So you see, you put it in the middle, then you can see the context before this target word and after the target word. Word clusters, what does this mean? Well, this expression, word clusters, means, we would like to see how often some expressions are used together. For example, when we want to describe a boy, what kinds of adjectives are usually used with boys? And then how about girl? Do you say a pretty boy? Usually, maybe not. But you say a pretty girl. But when you talk about a boy, you would like to talk about characteristics like being courageous, adventurous, brave, but for girls maybe pretty, little, young, the age, and so on. And father works, mother cooks. So you see, we'd like to see how different words are joined together, are associated with each other. So usually we use this function, the word cluster, for research. Like for this one, for these examples, like when we conduct research on gender studies, we'd like to see how males and females are described. The next one, collocation. I think this is also useful for us as learners and also as teachers. Well, because very often, especially for us non-native speakers, we are not too sure about how a particular word is used. Like weak words. Weak. Or very often our students just mix them, the adjective and the noun randomly. So if we help them understand the importance of collocation, that will help them for their writing. And so later on we'll look at this one. Register and style. Today when you come here for this workshop, what are you wearing? Something casual, right? Casual. None of you is wearing a swimsuit at the beginning? No. That's because it's not appropriate. So register and style is about the context, the appropriateness, whether we are using the kinds of expressions that are appropriate in a particular context. For example, when we speak, the language we use is different from when we write our academic essays. Language change. Yes, English or the other living languages they are living, they have not died, then there must be a change. Then if the corpus consists of texts from different periods of time, then we can see how the language has changed. English varieties: American English, British English, Canadian English, Hong Kong English. Well, again, if we compare different corpora, for example, brown corpus with not corpus, then we can compare British English and American English together. Or, as we have just seen, some corpora actually, they themselves include different varieties of English already. Like the ICE, International Corpus of English. Then when we look at those, we can compare different varieties and see how they are different from one another. Okay, so let's look at, so here we have got 7 features or 7 things that corpora can tell us. We'll look at them one by one. Some of them will be presented briefly. Some we'll look at some others in further detail. Now the first one, word frequency. What is the comparative form of polite? What do you think? Polite. More polite? More polite? Yeah, you say more polite. Can we say politer? Yes or no? Politer. Yes or no? Okay, again, let's do this search. Now, this time I would like you to try another corpus platform. So could you please type in this one? Or again, very simply, if you don't want to remember the website address, then you simply, again, type in BNC, British National Corpus. BNC. Okay? Now the first 2. Here. The first one, remember, this is the one that we clicked on. It shows you different platforms. Now I would like you to click on the second one. The second one. It's the website that I've shown you. Not working? How about you? You're working, right?
Yeah.
Can you get to this website then? Yes or no? Yes.
Similar to Quora.
Yeah. because it has got different platforms here. Okay. Now, very simple. You can see there are different functions here. List, chart, color case, compare, and KWIC, quick keyword in context. That means the concordances. Now let's look at list here. List. And which word do we need to type in? Politer, right? Politer. So then find matching strings. Click on that one. Now you see, you may get to this page because this platform requires you to register. If you don't want to pay any money, then sometimes it blocks you. Then you have to click on it again and again. And also, it allows you to have a certain number of free clicks a day. So usually we need to register. Even after you have registered, they block you sometimes. So this is something that is not so convenient, but it is quite user friendly and quite useful. That's why we still keep using it. I have already logged in, I think. So search Politer. Just be patient and click on that again and again. Okay, got it. Politer. How many? 5 tokens. 5. Then can we say more polite? Yes. So let's try more polite. And again, click on it. Find another string. How many instances are there for more polite? 23. So you're right. More polite is more frequently used than politer. Yes.
But is it possible that some of the examples are wrong? Because when I click on the politer, which I don't have down, but then it's got another grammatical mistake in the sentence. So, because they're using examples from the internet, right? So some people may not be reliable when they write on the internet.
True. You are right. That's why sometimes we need to take a look. We have to use our critical